as you may have guessed, this is King Arthur Pendragon 5.2, the Great Pendragon Campaign, the 51st episode. I heard James was fantastic, Glimo was present, and Spoon is doing well. So I'm going to say that this is a above average level of energy. I don't know that we're at high impact level of introductions, but I think that we're at B+. Okay? We're solidly in.
You're all bringing the average down.
You know, it's great collabing with people who are much smarter and funnier than you, or more creative than you, or craftier than you. It's very interesting all the time. So it's great that I have all three people here. And my favorite thing about Glimo is he was a longtime viewer, and then I was like, I need the name for a clown guy that also runs like a dungeon. Glimo. That sounds so interesting. What if we called it the Fungin, the Glimo's Fungin? And then Glimo was like, but that's my name. And I was like, oh shit, I actually know somebody named that. But I spelled it Gleemon. There was a N, and I had to drop it eventually to just say Glimo. Sometimes you just have to move laterally, It's like those people that are like, I saw award-winning movie and I just dreamed up the script for that 2 nights ago. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All right, sure.
Yeah. Like, congratulations. This movie was in production, years ago.
Yep. Here we are, the 51st episode. Now, some time travelers who have read the Great Pendragon Campaign already know there's not a lot going on this episode. Or will there be? But be aware that over the next few episodes, we will begin to see significant changes in gameplay. The Book of the Manor... not the Book of the Manor. What's the one with Feasts? The Book of the Feasts? Welcome to the Fungin! My God, he's insane! Glimo's fungining right now so hard. Book of Feasts is about to be in play. If it was a box of Orden, I'd be turning it sideways and adjusting the lid very slightly. Wow, that's a reference people are not going to get. And I mean the book series, back before it got really, really libertarian, not the TV series, which was highly questionable. So it was sometimes good, sometimes bad. Before we do the Pentecostal feast, welcoming the new year, we cut to Kendric seated in the hunting lodge / hall for the Order of the Axe. We can see that there are several new pieces of game prizes up on his wall, and as it is late winter in Britain, it also means it's doe hunting season. And we can see that he's going over some paperwork about different parties that he sent out to forage more game in the winter and coordinate the efforts of all of the woodcutting camps that he has set up somewhat illegally and aggressively in Ulfius's territory. Gwgan, Kyned, and anyone else who would like to say was invited to the hunting party for the next day, are all slated to arrive very shortly. In fact, they'll walk through the door sort of 1990s sitcom style whenever they feel like, and the live studio audience. Yeah, live studio audience will be like, woo! And then someone will wolf whistle the whole way. Yeah.
The real question is which one of them is going to do the Kramer?
They will come in and stand for effect.
Yes, distinctive standing. I passed that at Bifton. My favorite course. Well, who would like to enter first? Also, Spoon, do you have any surprise guests you'd like me to introduce here?
Any surprise guests?
Yeah, just me and other members of the Order of the Axe who you might have brought on a hunting party that we're doing for no particular reason.
Oh, yeah, sure. I think Dame Irwin and Sir Seed are here.
All right. Seeth comes in first, and he Kramers just to get it out of the way. And then Seeth absolutely just walks into his back and pushes him sideways in the middle of, you know, the audience going wild for him. She takes a very perfunctory seat as close to the hearth as possible, and he babbles out a greeting towards you. Sir Kendric, so great of you to invite us to another winter hunt. You know, the weather isn't always good for these, but it's a balmy, not freezing today. And as you know, in this country of Britain, once it gets above 79 degrees Fahrenheit, everything's on fire. We're basically all puddles of water. So somewhere in the mid 50s in winter is a good time for us.
Yes, of course. Yeah, the weather is rather seasonable. I'm glad the two of you could make it.
I'm glad we could be invited. And Seeth just goes, yeah, great to be here. We've got hungry kids back home that could use some venison.
Mm-hmm.
Next through the door is...
I will come in. I'm generally punctual.
Oh, you're the person that shows up at 9 o'clock for a 9 o'clock party?
I mean, that's me in reality.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
or,
me in reality
yeah.
as well, and people
Yeah.
get extremely angry about it for some reason. I
Yeah,
guess
or-
we've
or-
all, as a society, decided that 30 minutes late is the new on time, like a psycho.
Yeah.
Sir Gwgan, glad you could make it.
Thank you for the invite. This was an unexpected pleasure.
Yeah, I figured we might have some. It's been some time since we've all gotten together for leisure. We might go out and have some hunting. How have things been?
Well, I mean, I unfortunately had to spend the winter. Well, not unfortunately. I had to return to my own estate, which I didn't spend much time at because there were issues with some of what was the name? Who's coming from the south? From Cornwall.
King
Idris.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of Idris's. I mean, I don't think he's named necessarily, but just simply raiders using the opportunity of a war to try and cause trouble and steal food. Yeah, but manageable. This problem was dealt with in any case.
Good.
And then...
Kyned coming in last to get the extra applause break.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Well, welcome, Sir Kyned. I'm glad you could make it.
Well, thank you for having me. Been too long since we've had a good hunt.
Indeed. I assume Gwent would have turned down an invite if he had gotten one, because he would have gotten one.
I think Gwent is busy fighting witches all winter
Yeah, of course.
with all of his bastards.
Yeah.
He's up to almost 20. Look, you guys are playing Pendragon, and Gwent is playing Crusader Kings in a supernatural setting. He just occasionally takes a vacation by joining you. Okay. At this time, you're all sitting down, and some servants begin bringing in, like, basic nighttime, I don't want to say rations, but, you know, like a warm, rich broth. Nothing too heavy, nothing too special. And, like, spiced, warmed wine, or whatever it's called, mulled wine.
Mm-hmm.
When you see that there is a wave of frost that sweeps over the bronze axe, specifically the blade of the order of the axe, and then there's like a weird mist being emitted to it, and you can hear a voice going, "Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
It is I, the King of Somerset. Just imagine I have an extremely Welsh accent. I am using my magic to speak with you. Is that you, Sir Kendric?
It is, Your Majesty.
Approach the blade.
Kendric will very cautiously get up and walk over to it.
You can see glinting next to your reflection. It looks like there is a man seated in a throne chair who is like clutching at his stomach with both hands. Like he's in pain. And he's wearing very fine, like velvet clothes, a lot of like dark, deep reds. There is like a fire between you and him, but you know, when you turn around, you're still in your lodge. None of that actually exists. Sir Kendric, I have come to you in an offer and a request.
Very well, my lord. What is your...
You bear my blade, and to some extent that makes you my agent. Somerset is on the course of war. The Earl of Yagant has fallen, and the King of Cornwall is coming for us this year. I have negotiated an alliance with the king called Nantiliode. You are familiar with this man, I think.
I'm very.
I have seen it, and I have heard of it. I require an agent to represent my interests with the King Nantiliode, but my own castle and all of the castles of my lands are besieged already, and I am afraid that many of my lords will turn towards the rulership of Cornwall. If you could go to Nantiliode and act as my agent, you may lead a wing of the army to help free my people this year. I would consider it a great service from the bearer of the axe.
Very well, Your Majesty. I will depart for Escavalon.
No, don't worry about that part. I have foreseen that King Nantiliode is coming to you. You also don't need to foresee it in the fires. Everyone's talking about a possible alliance between your countess. All winter long, it's all we're talking about. We don't get new news here. They're shooting all the birds down.
I see, yes.
The only outside news I've gotten in the last 6 weeks is through the fire!
Very well,
Do the
I
rest
shall...
of us see this as well, or is this
You
only
can
between...
only see it if you're standing directly in front of the axe and looking at the reflection. You definitely hear the voice.
Okay.
And the further away you are, the more distorted and freakish it sounds. You know, it's like very eldritch when you're more than several feet away.
Like that, early 2000s Zoom call.
No, it's more like when people used to have cell phones next to their speakers in like 1996, and it would be like, burp, 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 burp. You know, it would get the cell phone's out ping on the speaker frequency, and then, you know, you'd be like, what are those strange noises all around me? For a medieval person. I like how your idea of an old-timey call is an early Zoom call. Brother, before Zoom, we had Teams. Before Teams, we had Skype. And before Skype, we had TeamSpeak and Ventrilo.
Yeah.
You need to watch the what is it, the Skype CEO Brennan Lee Mulligan thing.
Oh,
again.
don't worry. I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
What can we do? What can we do to win back your love?
Your Majesty, what is it that you wish for me to do as your agent?
Oh, just, you know, I need you to just like lead armies and stuff, you know? I know that there was a little thing between you and Nantiliode. You know, they're calling you the really angry animal.
Yes, the mad bear.
No, what? No, they've been calling you the upset honey badger.
Very well.
You'll attack literally anything at any time for any reason, including people who are just trying to help you.
That did happen.
Well,
I shall accept this charge and be your agent.
you can see there's a slight trickle of blood coming down beside his mouth, and it looks like he's visibly aging before you. And he says, "Oh, the magic is taking too much from me.
Hang up the call. Hang up the call.
He hangs up the call. The wave of ice that has covered the blade and the handle all dissipate, and it is just a simple bronze axe once again.
Well, I think Hoarfrost is the name for magical ice, isn't it?
Hoarfrost. Which is not the same thing as Horsfrost, which you can only find in Mole Town in Game of Thrones.
That was disturbing.
So
Steve is like, I'm not Christian enough for this.
Yeah, I'm a bit uncomfortable about him
Can,
using magic into our homes. But,
At least it wasn't Merlin.
that's true. Are we sure it wasn't Merlin?
Good point.
That brings up a point. Can Kyned roll fairy lore to see if he believes it really was Somerset?
What would a success and failure look like?
Success.
He's really giving this thought. I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah, I mean, but my first was just, oh yeah, success, it's true. But then, I mean, the Glimo, the player, doesn't know that it really was Somerset.
Let's say
so,
on a success, I'll tell you the truth, but then what does failure look like? Because if I just say, no, it's not, and I've told you that the answer yes would be if it's true, right? Like, it's very easy.
Two truths and a lie.
Ooh, interesting. I'll play that game. Especially because I've seen your fairy lore. Let's do it. I actually want you to succeed, but...
I do succeed.
Okay. You are not a strong practitioner of magic, but with a 12 fairy lore, you know enough to know that there was no falsity in this casting, right? It's clear that the magic was taking something from him. There's a price to be paid. Now, there's no reason to show that if you're casting an illusion of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you could just appear as literally anything. He sounded genuinely pained. There is some question, because none of you have ever actually met the King of Somerset, nor are there, like, a bunch of portraits of him. But he is a well-known non-knightly lord who is an open sorcerer and is older than human memory. Like, he's older than the oldest person who's been alive that you know of. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities, some considered to be unnatural. You feel confident.
Well, from everything that I know in this world and outside it, I'd say that rings true.
Perhaps this was the purpose of the axe that he gave us.
Perhaps.
Some sort of communication device, or lets him talk to us through the axe. Regardless, it seems that we have work to do this coming year. At least I do.
I mean, we're all this together.
Hopefully we will have leisure to join you and won't be beset by invaders again this year.
Great. We cut to the Pentecostal feast in the year 506. Present are the following people. Even as you enter the hall... Oh, sorry?
How did the hunt go?
I don't know. Let's make a hunt roll.
Well, it's Kendric's hunt.
Okay, Kendric, make a hunt roll.
Well, we succeeded.
It was a great hunt. And on a 4, you got exactly 1 doe. Hey, one day of hunting, 1 doe, not bad. Split 5 ways, a little less good, but Seethe and Erwin definitely need to feed those new children that they've got.
I think Kendric doesn't keep any of it. He gives it to everyone else.
Okay.
He doesn't take his 5th portion. He splits it 4 ways and gives it to... Because he has, other hunts.
As the heavy doors at Sarum open, we get that wind blowing in, a helicopter camera, drone camera, I guess nowadays, where we see 2 somewhat familiar figures. We've seen Elaine de Carlion before, but he is now Prince of Nantiliode, now officially adopted or perhaps bastarded by Nantiliode. He is officially both his heir and his son. And Prince Mark, who we have seen before, but it has been a little while, representing his father, King Idris of Cornwall. We can see that the 2 of them have just finished up a sort of oration contest where they are reciting bombastic lines at each other, and it is clear that one of them has won and one of them has lost in a sort of Sims, like one of them's like, yeah, una cara chica, and the other one's like, and stomping his foot. They're both speaking Simlish for some reason, and everyone understands them perfectly. The Countess is here. Many of the knights that you already know are here. Sir Paul is present, as are the entire Order of the Axe, including Gwent. And there is a newskeeper. There is an intrigue about. You can speak with the Countess. And there is, as always, court gossip to listen to. Actually, I should mention that there are 3 court gossips to listen to.
Ooh. Well, I don't gossip, but I do listen to news.
You listen to news, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, there are multiple news events as well. There are 3 news events, and there are 3 gossip events.
Well, I'll start with one of them.
One gossip or one news?
Well, come on, AP, you should know by now.
I need you to say it,
totally
James.
Gossips.
Okay. When you arrive, you settle in judgmentally, listening to a squire gossiping with a young handmaiden. It definitely gives you the vibe of someone trying to impress a young woman sort of deal, and she's very uninterested. But the news seems to be pretty spicy, and he's going, that's right, I heard that the bastard arrived at his house, his wife threw an absolute fit, and now the man's getting even older and smaller now that his wife's henpecking him. That's right, they call him Sir Kendric the Deflated now. And the girl's like, oh, that's very interesting. I've always found Sir Kendric to be so handsome. When I think of someone that is a real knight and a real man, I think of someone like Sir Kendric, who doesn't gossip and is very faithful and loyal to his wife and always does all of his tasks around the castle. Sorry, I meant the estate he lives in. And you could tell that this young squire is not catching the hint.
Yeah.
The word of Kendric's losses in the last year in stature and in bastardry are spreading around the court. Now, here's my question for you, Sir Kendric.
Yes.
Do you think this news spreading would affect your level of honor by 1 point? Honor is an ephemeral concept, and to some extent, it's something you hold in yourself, and to some other extent, it's something others see in you. In the same way that Kyned, Sword of Damocles hanging over him, has that bonus point of honor from the fight in the basement. But if anyone ever finds out, he's going to lose that quite critically. Do you think that your honor has been impugned by Wolf joining you? Fully your decision. I have nothing to do with it. I don't know if you're embarrassed by him.
I don't think so.
Okay. Sure. Cool. Your honor is completely unaffected.
Yeah. I mean, like maybe if it had happened earlier, he might have, but
you're Ned Starking it. I got it.
Yeah, it's been some time since he's had his last dalliance.
You know, thank God for Bessie and her tits.
So no, I don't think it, and plus he's a pagan.
I mean,
so
paganism still has a concept of marriage in the farm.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. You can't just go around fucking whoever you want all the time.
Right. I don't think it's affected his honor, and he's more than used to. Sorry, go ahead, James.
I think marriage is the foundation of any threesome. So.
I think he is very used to being the subject and target of gossip, given his past.
I think you also cultivate a reputation that makes you a target of gossip.
Sure.
Well, James is off quietly observing gossip. Anything you guys want to do?
We'll go and see what intrigues he can find from that
Now, you,
person.
Of course, can do an intrigue, or you can talk to Pentatonics. Sorry, Pent and Tonics.
I mean,
legally distinct.
Well, you said that there was a news.
There is 3 newses, 2 more gossips, and an intrigue on top of whatever intrigue you want to do about Pent and Tonics.
Okay. I will try to suss out the spy mastery intrigue stuff, and then I'll talk to Pentatonics.
Okay. Make a intrigue roll.
That's a success.
You find yourself drawn across the room to a knight who introduced himself as Sir Clambet of the Prela Mansion. They have a very distinct northern accent and appear to be Pictish. And he says, my lord... Oh, that's not Scottish at all. Sorry. I don't know what that was. Aye, Sir Kyned. The name's Clambet of Prela. He reaches over and just fully gives you a shake hug. Aye, there's a good man.
Sir Clement, what can I do for you?
Well, my lord from the north has sent me. You know the name Lot of Arkney?
That I do.
Aye, keeping an eye down here he is. Wants to make sure things go well. Here's the thing. You're very famous as an intrigue man, a spy man, a man of scheming and planning and plotting. They say that you tried to stop the fall of Londonium that night. You're a plotting man, you are. It's well known.
Indeed.
No shame to you.
You sound so much like Michael on YouTube. He's a dancing man.
He's a dancing man. He's an entertaining man. All right, I've drifted west. He's not just Pictish. He's from the Isle of Man, so he's between Ireland and Scotland now. My lord finds it interesting to keep tabs on a man like you and to send word. King Lot is the true king of Logres, but he does not take the title because the people here do not love him. But he has no less responsibility to make sure that they are well looked after. and he has heard word from afar that King Nanteliod is secretly trying to summon the Collegium of Legates, an archaic institution which King Lot does not accept as a legitimate anchor in Logres and a direct challenge to his temporal claim.
I see.
King Lot would be greatly served if you were to ensure that this College of Legates, which is not legitimate, and whose members are not drawn from the bloodlines that have long held them, because those bloodlines ended at a massacre feast that I'm sure you were well aware of. For if my ken does not abandon me, you were there that night.
I was not there that night, or I would be dead myself.
Ah, my ken has abandoned me then. There are many stories about you in the north. This Collegium of Legates, if they were to elect Nanteliod High King, this would be a slap in the face to King Lot, and may also be a threat to the rule of the Lost Prince as well, who King Lot greatly searches for and desires to protect at the command of his wife, the boy's sister. Any information that you can bring about the young prince to King Lot would be appreciated, and anything you can do to prevent this false college from conclaving would also be greatly appreciated. Now, I've brought you a savory pudding made of sheep's pluck, minced with oatmeal, sheep's fat, onions, and various spices of the north. And then I've sealed it all inside a fresh sheep's stomach, which is, I just got it this morning. And then I served it with the neeps and the taties, and he hands you a big plate.
Haggis.
Exactly. Well, I did get a taste for haggis when I was fighting in the north, so I'll stand a plate with you and a pint of ale, and let's speak a bit more.
He looks deeply impressed that you know what haggis is. All right, the two of you continue to talk into the night as your successful intrigue brings you not just knowledge of plots around you, but the favor of King Lot and knowledge that he is also watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Kendric, it's time.
Yes. Would like to petition the Countess Ellen for the betrothal of my son, Tathan, to the late Baron Hewell's daughter, Mayreed.
Show me your power.
All right. It's a 24.
I think that sounds like it's close to enough.
Okay.
I believe we said it was somewhere above 20.
Yeah.
Because we had to set a custom amount for it.
Yeah. So hang on, let me get the chart up here.
I mean, 20 is the highest, and it's for the daughter of a baron. So you have
so
above 20.
The random marriage chart goes above 20.
Yeah.
So
not
a
in my book,
24.
but all right.
Oh, well, in 5.2.
Oh, I saw 5.1 open.
Yeah, 5.2. 24 is the heiress of a vassal knight. So it would be not quite what I'm looking for.
Okay. You do need to make another roll to cement that your bonus stays, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Courtesy roll.
Courtesy success.
Excellent. You bestow upon the Countess gifts, counsel, attention, titulages to various things, like naming a brook after her or something, and holding small festivals and duplains in her honor, and sending her jewelry from a specific mayoral silversmith and that sort of deal, and continued to shower upon her courtly favor. And she basks in it, but she is not ready to grant you your request quite yet.
Yes. Yeah, and the hand of Baroness essentially it's a big card to play.
Yeah.
So I understand that she's keeping it close to her chest.
Look, you have a minus 15 for this marriage acceptance. You're going to need a grand wedding, or you're going to have to keep swaying the Countess if you want to get an alliance with her troops.
I will continue my sway scheme.
Sway progress has been reset then. The Countess's opinion of you has raised by +10. Perfect. Back to you, Gwgan or Kyned. We don't have to go in perfect order. We can just bounce around. There's plenty to do here tonight.
I believe you said there was more gossip on the table.
There's so much gossip on the table. So much gossip.
My cup runneth over.
You sit down next to a nun who is chatting with like an initiate priest, like someone who's training, hasn't been fully tonsured yet, and you can hear her saying, "It's good to have a king, I say. I hope the Countess swears fealty to Nantleode. There's not going to be any king of Logres coming forth, that's for sure." Well, there could be. My old nanny said that Prince Maddox's kid was an elf child. Like people say, he could be an adult right now. Could. Say, how many desserts are planned for tonight? I can't bear to have 7 again. It's ungodly. Well, victory tastes sweet, and it's a great change from all those ordinary years we've been having. That's it. That's your gossip.
Okay. Thank you.
Gossip.
Kendric is going to go talk to Prince Elaine.
Elaine de Carlion?
Indeed.
Very well. You get some news from the two of them. The two Cymric princes are visiting Salisbury, and they are not friendly with each other. As you approach, you can hear that they are offering veiled threats with the kind of subtlety only young men can offer each other, which is poorly. Their courtly posturing has resulted in a chess challenge that Mark has won, and an oration challenge which just ended, which Elaine de Carlion has won. Of course, their behavior is natural, considering that they are just shy of officially being at war with each other. You pull Elaine aside, and he says, "Sir Kendric, it is good to see you."
It's good to see you as well, Sir Elaine. Or shall I say, Prince Elaine.
Prince Elaine, yes.
Indeed.
I understand that you have the ear of your countess. You are one of her smallest council members. The tightest of circles.
Yes, I am one of her oldest vassals, and the Order and I have quite a bit of sway.
I understand. My father has not always treated you with the level of respect that you deserve, but I hope that you know that our people respect you greatly, and we would hope that you might go to bat with us this year. Speaking with the Countess, if you could turn her towards an alliance with King Nantleode, we could use a secure ally on the flanks. Anything that you can do to threaten Jagant or Dorset, prevent the forward advance of Cornwall to flank us, and let us sweep Somerset clean of the Cornwallish scum. We have many allies there, and my father has long been attempting to get in talks with the king, but unfortunately, they are beset on all sides. Many of the castles and estates are all being surrounded.
This is the very thing that I came to speak with you about. I have indeed been in contact with King Cadwy.
King Cadwy? You have been in contact with him. I've heard that they've been shooting all of the birds down.
The Order has its ways. We have been friends with King Cadwy for quite some time. having done him several services in the past, and he has charged me to be his agent to King Nanteliad.
He raises an eyebrow and continues to nod at you. And, you know, we know that he used magic to contact you, but you are being very circumspect about it. And it's, you know, it's very like, oh, how mysterious. You've done tasks for him before. You have your ways. And you can see he's like very impressed with your, I don't want to say mysticism, but your mystery.
Yeah. I shall, of course, endeavor to sway the Countess as I have in the past years. And I don't think there is any need for any coolness from the King Nanteliad. I did my part in earning it, but you have been very gracious and generous. So there are no
All
hard
of us
feelings.
knights fully understand that in the heat of battle, you can become, your blood can get up, and knights more than another man can be filled with passions. It is just
Indeed.
that you are such a dangerous man that when you are filled with passion, many are at threat. Usually it is your enemies. He slaps you on the back. But you are a prince among men. Perhaps we are now both princes among men. The only way you could be more perfect, my friend, would be if you were Christian. I suppose we all have our crosses we must bear.
Indeed.
Except you. He doesn't wear a cross.
I take it my son has served you well in the past years.
Indeed.
Very good.
I have
I
several squires, and I have more now this year, but I favor the ones who have been by my side longer.
And then I think they, go and they have a drink, and Kendric talks with his son and Prince Elaine and the other members of Prince Elaine's retinue, and has a good time.
Okay. Who's next?
Kyned will go and speak with Pent and Tonics.
Okay. Pent and Tonics bring you news. Again, they are not fully willing to serve you as spies yet, but they have taken your banner and trooped it around and spread word of your good deeds near, far, wherever you are. Roll an intrigue real quick.
Crit.
Ooh, nice.
And it's not just a crit, it's a 20 as well. So, it's as high as you could roll on a crit. Yeah.
Natural 20.
I understand, sir, that you have had troubles in the lands of Lindsay before, have you not?
Glimo is forgetting where Lindsay is.
Lincoln. It's to the north. You you had some
it hasn't been kind to us.
Yeah, and Nancelio had some problems up there as well.
Okay.
We have spent the entire year by Nottingham, Newark, and Lincoln spreading word of your good deeds, and you become something of a folk hero up there. I have here a certificate from a knight up there who would like to inject your bloodline into what he calls his thinning dynasty. That if you had any children who you feel could marry into either his third son or his second daughter's bloodline and to take into his house, he would be greatly honored by it and would fetty you. The knight in question, of course, is Sir Ragnar, who they call the Red.
Have I heard of Sir Ragnar?
Well, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red.
So I thought you were starting a limerick there.
Well, he went... James, there once was a hero named Ragnar the Red who went riding from Whiterun to Old Rorikstead.
Okay, yes, I was going to say
Ragnar did
this.
swaggered and brandish his blade, as he told of both battles and gold he had made. And then a shield maiden chopped his head off. Yeah. Look, we're doing the part. We're at the part of the show where I make a bunch of musical comedy references because we're talking to pentatonics. He hands you a scroll, which looks very official and comes with a seal that, is written by a priest and declares that Sir Ragnar of Lincoln would be greatly obliged to enter into a marriage with your house and your line, and that it would expand his dynasty, and he would be willing to bestow upon you many gifts and to offer you a fete.
What is a fete?
It's a party. He's basically saying he wants to offer you like a week-long festival.
Fete?
Yes.
Fate. It's pronounced fate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only read it in the Dune books, so...
Okay, no worries. It's a common term here that's used for like school fairs, that sort of stuff. Yeah, but FET is fate. It's pronounced.
Just like, Glastonbury. My favorite part about the English language is how the English have forgotten how pronunciation works. Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, what's the line? Is it English? It doesn't so much borrow words from other languages. Is it shanks other languages in alleys and steals their nouns?
Yeah, goes to their pockets for other change.
Yeah. Puts them somewhere in the British Museum and forgets about them for a few hundred years.
There's actually a show on Netflix called What the British Stole.
I assure you, there are so many books about what the British stole. Ask the fucking Greeks about those goddamn marbles, man.
Well, I certainly appreciate all the hard work and this piece of news, and I will have one of my scribes write up the proper replies. Thank you very much.
Very well. Do you have a musical direction you want for us?
Just one.
One direction?
Ow. I'm loving what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Oh, did you hear our new songs that we introduced in the fall?
Oh, please tell me.
Oh, well, we've exclusively been working on a new theme. You see, the assumption we'd been working with for many years was that Christmas songs should only be sung at Christmas. But we found that people love it when you sing Christmas songs further and further out from Christmas. So we started singing them in October, and people have been going wild for it. So now we're working on a plan to get Christmas songs in August this year.
I've heard Christmas in July might be what to work up
we
for.
shouldn't get too crazy. I mean, celebrating Christmas for 6 months of the year, that's a little too much, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. But I leave it in your capable hands. You certainly know more about music and audiences than I.
Yes, we've been doing pop culture remixes of Christmas songs done with more popular current songs.
Excellent. I would love to hear some of that.
All right, they start doing a We
fall.
Three Kings freestyle. But 2 of them remain in the background and are just beatboxing the whole time.
Yeah, it's a cappella. Yeah, that's it.
It's like
Excellent.
spoken word William Shatner poetry, like we, 3 kings of Orient, are. Sorry, what's that called? Slam poetry?
Yeah.
I'm worried Glimo's taking notes. Listen, I was fine with Sleemow being a thing. I'm not fine with some of these musical inventions becoming a mainstay on this channel. This is like the Crab Strangler. I'm now worried that it's going to come back to haunt me, literally. Anything else with pentatonics?
That's all I have for pentatonics.
All right. This feels like a good time to take our first break, and maybe our only break.
Only break.
It's not a long year.
Yeah. Speak from our only
I'm sorry, Glimo. I can't give you, 4 or 5 episodes in 1 year anymore. Not until we get Arthur back. Christmas songs should only be sung after the Lady Mary of Kerry wakes from her slumber. She must be unfrozen from the icy frost of the north. All right.
Indeed.
We'll be back in about 5 minutes, live audience. Some of these motherfuckers are meeting up at Gen Con, talking about their APGamingREAL cast member memorial reunion, talking about all the steak they're going to eat in their lobster bisque.
I'm still debating screenshotting Arthur's face and getting like t-shirts screen printed with Arthur's face so we can all like wear it for a photograph.
Shit, I'd fly in for that.
This feels like a missed opportunity for me to have Teesprung like a APGamingREAL official cast member shirt for everybody.
Yeah. There's still time.
Or we save up the Patreon dollars and we do it for real next year and just all get printed shirts.
There you go.
Meanwhile, we're still at the party.
I don't know whether, I mean, I heard you guys see the counters for this, but I'm just trying to glean. Is there anybody here this year asking for tribute?
No, there's no
there's not.
Saxons
Okay.
tributing this year.
Okay.
You go to see
And
the
then-
Countess.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Sorry?
Oh.
What?
What would it take for Kyned to actually
Stop the collegiate.
keep the collegiate from
I
meeting?
would require a critical on an intrigue roll.
I've
a
already
-5.
wasted it, so.
I mean, you can believe in yourself.
I can.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You also hit 100% of the shots you don't take.
You can always like impassion. Increase that critical chance.
I could. I'll think on that while we're meeting with the Countess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is going to be, Glimo, like, what is the angle you use to try and stop the collegiate?
Yeah.
Do you do like a bomb scare, or
Thanks for demonetizing this video. You want to get a couple more in here? Unalived.
The event.
Oh my god.
have you ever played Bomb?
Ever played what?
Bomb, the game Bomb.
BONG?
No, BOMG. It's BOMB, sorry. It's when you go to the airport and each of you try to yell bomb as loudly as possible, and the person that, because everyone's going like, bomb.
I'm an American.
Whoever says it loudest wins.
Yeah,
I mean, they win something.
Private investigation interview room.
Unreal. You go to meet with the Countess. I can't stop thinking about this dumb game that you've now introduced into my mind. I'm worried it's going to tempt me the next time I'm in an airport. Like some real intrusive thought type shit.
That's right, yeah. It's a variation of the same game where you see who can yell penis loudest on a bus.
I was gonna say that was the game we played in high school.
Yeah, that one is going to get you in a lot less trouble. I'm going to be straightforward about it.
Yeah.
That you meet with the Countess. She's very busy this year, but she leans over the table, sets down her cup, and says, "War is still at our doorstep. Whom ought we pay homage to? It's no secret that I prefer Nanteliod. He has held to his word for us before. He certainly is lucky.
Anyone asked for tribute?
We have received no Saxons this year. Not even our southern neighbors.
So, I mean, it really is a question of do we send funds or support to Nanteliod or do nothing? And it sounds like you're inclined to continue to show support for Nanteliod.
King Idris has sent his own son, Prince Mark, here to represent himself. I am certain they, too, would like to have our support.
I mean, Nantelion directly opposes Idris, so it's one or the other, really. Who do we think will win?
Yes, Jefferson or Burr.
I will say, a lot of Orkney sent a man to speak with me quietly. He continues to claim from up north that he is the true rightful king of Logris, but says he won't press it because we Southerners don't love him enough, which is fine. But he also did say that if Nanteliod were to raise the Council of Legates, he would be most put out.
I mean, he won't press his claim because he lives a season's ride away. Orkney is a long way from Logris, and I think that any threats he makes ring hollow here.
Indeed. The matter at hand, though, I believe Nanteliad is the right choice. He hurt the Saxons badly last year, killing the king of the Angles. He has Duke Lindsay behind him. He has, Ascavalon and the other Cumbrian nobles behind him. I think it's only a matter.
Stand? Is Ulfius still holding out, hoping that he will somehow rise to the top?
Good question.
I think what you know of what's going on with Ulfius right now is he'll never abandon Londonium, but it's not like he's going to launch a bunch of suicide attacks to get himself killed. He is trying to get the true Collegium to meet and to continue to seek out the young prince and to continue to try to secure the tin mines, although the contracts for the tin are way past due. You know what I mean? Like, all the people that bought that tin are now pressing him as creditors, as they're treating him as if he is essentially the bank of the kingdom. So yeah, I mean, he's just stretched in many different directions and has no resources to do it with. But there is always the chance that the Confederacy could have won if Stonewall Jackson didn't die and Grant spontaneously combusted and an avalanche took out Sherman's march. And, he could retake London if everyone died in a plague and all of the Saxons killed each other. And he's holding out for hope. Okay? I don't know if you know this, James, but rebellions are built on hope. Listen, no one's holding out for a hero. There's no hero who can single-handedly free London from the hands of hundreds of thousands of Saxons. Don't shrug at me, motherfucker.
No,
it's impossible.
Not with that attitude.
You would need some kind of sword of victory that gives you instant victory just from drawing it.
Of course, yeah. Who knows where that is? It's not in the stone.
I mean, its location set in stone, just like the sword. Or maybe it's an anvil? It's hard to say. Even people who've been there are confused. Okay, well, Lancelot has French people writing for him, so he can do fucking anything, all right? The last author to put pen to the paper does get to have the strongest hero of the age.
We've received a message from King Cadwy, my lady, and he has charged me to be his agent in King Nanteliad's force.
Are you saying that we should ally with King Nanteliad?
That is what I am saying,
and
yes.
You will go as our agent?
Yes, I would be the agent of Salisbury as well, if that is what you wish.
I need someone to look after my son. I fear that this year he will run off again to join Nanteliad. Can you summon the Order of the Axe, bring them with you, and act as his sworn shields?
I can do so.
Very well.
We can do so.
Then I will swear myself to Ninteliad and pay homage this year. He has been a true ally, and you have been a true servant.
Thank you, my lady.
When you next speak with the King of Somerset, let him know that there is a friendship between us.
I shall do so.
It would not hurt to have a sorcerer king on our side. Okay. Anyone else you guys want to talk to?
I'm good.
I'm good as well.
I think I've done all the things.
Very well. War in Cornwall. Nanteliod attacks King Idris of Cornwall. Their armies maneuver around in Somerset, but they never engage. The King of Somerset emerges with his knights to help Nanteliod. Many castles surrender back to their king, but others are already stuffed full of Cornishmen. The entire year is indecisive militarily. We have now reached the Christmas court of 506.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we should just go for 2 episodes.
just
what
skip
are
all
we
that,
doing?
I thought we were gonna like actually
no,
like
we can't go for 2 episodes because I have to update the overlay for James's new character. All right,
yeah.
Calm yourself. Christmas court. I have to say it again. Are we not the stupidest people in the world? The Saxons are finally beaten down, and so we Cymru attack each other instead. Why, I even hear that there is a new king of the Angles. We could have stopped this. We live in an age of animals, for only our most base instincts determine our actions. That is certain. Do you think the pygmies of Africa act this way? Or the dog-headed people of India? I wager they don't. Just us, savages. So the 3 of you are walking together outside of the Christmas court feast, and you could see that there's a man dressed in fine robes that have been turned with dirt and age to rags. Spoon, you always lose it before I get to the punchline.
Because I know what's coming.
Yeah, it's Physician Quintus of Ilchin, yes. He's doomsaying you as you go past, but he's also got a little wooden bowl with some coins in it as you go past. He doesn't seem to recognize you, and he stinks greatly of alcohol.
Kyned pretends he has no idea who he is, but drops a pence in the cup.
My thanks, my lord, my thanks. One of the guards takes his sticks and is like, "Get out of here, beggar! Stop bothering the lords with your nonsense! I don't even know what a Cymru is!" The other guy goes, "We're Cymrus, you fucking idiot!" "I ain't no Cymru! I'm a good Christian man!"
Oh, wow.
Look, we have to have the two bit characters, you know? In Pirates of the Caribbean, they've got the 2 pirates, and they have the 2 British officers. You always have to have two guards doing a bit.
The wet bandits.
During my downtime, I will have had my scribe work up a betrothal for my daughter Beatrice.
Okay.
To Ragnar.
Well, it will be to his 3rd son.
His 3rd son.
Okay, so you're going to get 200 glory. She will receive a dowry. He will pay for the wedding. And then you receive a personal gift of 15 pounds.
£15.
Yes. He also sends you a stuffed golden eagle.
Eagle.
It's stuffed, so it doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's in the bird or the golf stroke?
the how do you stuff a golf stroke? James, explain it to me right now.
I'm disinclined.
You're disinclined? Yeah. All right. Save those cute little remarks for jokes that actually make sense. Okay? You leave the desperate comedy to me, all right? What do you guys want to do? You can hear Pentatonics singing All I Want for Christmas Is You by Lady Mary.
Do we have any specific things for this Christmas court?
Nope. I don't think so.
I have no gifts to give.
Okay, let's do end of year.
Yeah.
The great news is next year there's a bunch of events.
Yeah, it does get serious now. Turning into the
Oh, we're getting serious now. Let me get my glasses out and take off my weighted training bands around my wrists that keep me from typing too fast. My 6-ounce bands.
Any I mean, I guess we only had a few rolls, so that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Any solo scenarios, AP?
Yes.
You know, there's always solo scenarios. Although, for some people, they're not as good as others.
Some are more solid than others.
Yeah. I'm here to offer you, Sir Kendric, a solo scenario where you go and seek out once more great knowledge.
My
At this point, I feel like I should just ask for the roll before I narrate what happens.
Sure. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I serve you up a perfect, birdie, and then you just take a shit all over the course. You, Lou Wilson,
Listen.
you're like, all right, Lou, what happens to you? And he goes, I shit myself. And Brendan goes, you could have done literally anything, and you choose to shit yourself.
All right. Spiritual test.
Spiritual test.
Well, that's a failure.
Okay. You spend the end of the year seeking for people to train you in the sort of elven or original form of chivalry, and you just spend a lot of time chasing leads you've already been down, or talking to people who've changed their name because they're criminals, and they're like, oh, it's you, my lord. I don't have any debts in Salisbury. Just don't ask about the ones in London. Stuff like that. You learn nothing of value this year. Glimo, I'm proud to offer you another intrigue roll for what's going on with Rourke.
Crit.
Wow. Hey, remember when I said you could stop the Collegium with the crit, and then you said you weren't going to do it? Just imagine. You could have stopped.
I'm so glad I put that extra point into intrigue last year. That would have been 2 fumbles.
But if you gave him a -5 though, because that would have been a fumble then. So.
But what if he, because he knew he was rolling for something super important, he then had whatever you called it, Super
impassioned?
Saiyan. Yeah, if he's Super Saiyan. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he would have just fumbled the passion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
He's right. The timeline checks out. Unless he continues to roll 20s all the way through the episode.
Yeah.
20s all the way
That'd be
down.
real. That'd be real. Could be really good for him, actually.
What if you spent every year increasing a passion all the way up to 20 just to keep from fumbling?
I've considered it.
I'm really passionate about love my cat. For amore!
Amore.
No,
Amore.
I don't have amore for sure. All right. Look, Kyned, you've busted this whole thing wide open. You know that Rourke is looking to gain power as a Christian bishop. He's looking to position himself well. Christianity's on the way up in Ireland, in the land of Irie, and there are not many king. There are over 100 kings in Ireland, and not many of them keep a bishop. But he has made himself into something of a fixture, going around talking about your conversion and all of the wonderful magical things that have happened to you and the great blessings and luck that you've had. And so he's kind of earned himself a sort of reverse Diogenes reputation as a philosopher and a good guy to have around in court. And so his entire reputation is based on you. And the more you look into it, the more you become convinced that all the things that have been happening to you, the assassination attempts, just all lead back to him. Like, he tried to have you eliminated in a way that would fail to draw attention to you, and he's feeding off that attention to make himself important. You have all the evidence in hand to prove it to anyone that would care, which is not a lot of people over here, but in Ireland, this would be devastating to him. Also, the church would almost certainly, I don't know if they excommunicate in this time period. I'm going to say yes. We have popes. Yeah, they absolutely would excommunicate him. For sure, for arranging for murders. You could destroy this man's whole career, and yet he's also your biggest fan. If you only listen to this as an audio podcast, just know I'm looking at Glimo strangely, and Glimo is moving around in his seat thinking.
I would like to set a meeting with Rourke.
Very well. Now, is this a meeting where you invite him to the meeting? Or is this a meeting where you mysteriously appear inside his house in the middle of the night next to an unlit candle, and then the candle lights, and he goes, "How did you get in my..." What's it called? What's the place a priest lives in a church?
The rectory?
The rectory. How'd you get in this rectory? The door was locked. Who are you?
Oh, I think it's definitely the second one.
Okay, yeah, okay. So we get, the rocky coastline of Ireland, a vast tempest. There's a small church on the edge of the cliffs near Dublin, and we see a man struggling against them with his cloak. He takes it off, and he's wearing the pure white robes of an Irish priest, and he defrocks his collar thingy and sets it aside and puts his Irish Bible down, makes his way back into the rectory while toweling himself off. And then he looks at the start to see a dark figure sitting in a chair as the match strikes, whoosh, and the candle lights next to your face, and you do... He goes, "Huh?"
Well, if it isn't my biggest fan.
He says in Irish, "Una got? You brata?" Because as you'll recall, you two don't share a language.
Are we seriously not? I thought...
Do you remember you got a priest to translate for you?
Translate for you. He wanted to burn them all.
Glimo the player forgot this.
I feel like on a critical though.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. This is so funny though, but yes.
It is so funny. I completely forgot that.
From behind the door that Rourke just opened, it slowly closes as someone says in Irish, "Oh, brother Rourke," and like he grabs him from behind and gets his arms behind his shoulders. "You take a moment here. Don't worry, my boyo. I'll translate for you." A third person appears and begins playing the Godfather theme song on an accordion.
Now, I do have to hand it to you, Bishop. You've done my reputation quite a service, and I'm sure it's been great for you up until this point. So there's two ways the story can end from here. We can each be happy with how our reputations turned out and just go about the rest of our lives. Or I can send all the documentation to your superiors in the church and, well, they'll be less nice to your reputation than my friends will be to your body. So, game recognized game, but knock it the fuck off now, shall we please?
Yes, of course. Whatever you want. I've got
There's
it.
a good lad. I did love the stories, though. And then Ninja vanish, into the night.
As you vanish, the accordion player gets up in his face and goes, "And that's right. Don't forget it." Then he punches him in the kidney. And the two guys inside close the door and leave. Great. I don't have a specific role for you, James, but there's just...
I have a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead then.
Because it's at the end of the year that Blodwyn comes of age, because she was born at the end of the year, the year that Gwgan died. And I think that I am going to christen my new cathedral by inviting the Countess to conduct the knighting ceremony, because Blodwyn's a vassal of the Countess, not of Gwgan.
Yes.
As the first official act at the new cathedral. I wanted to pitch to you that I will voluntarily take the Liege Lord Visit's Calamity to represent that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That fits with what I was going to do, because what I was going to say is you need to make a decision as to whether you're going to spend the rest of your life chasing after Ellen. Now that you're essentially most of the way retired and moving into your older age, do you still spend your time concentrating on your own family, or are the two of you shacking up somewhere in the backwoods now that her own son is coming of age? Her children are all getting older, becoming full adults, getting married. It's time for the two of you to make a little nest of your own.
So I think that because Robert, I looked at Robert turns 21 in 509.
Yeah.
That's when he has to be invested.
Yep.
Certainly because the relationship between Gwgan and his wife is political. They have many kids, so obviously it has been physical too. But at the end of the day, there is that we stay together for the children, sort of thing.
Yeah. But your children are getting older.
But
They
also,
become
Gwgan has to
adults.
move now to Winterbourne on Stoke, which is further from Sarum than Shrewton was. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know what, AP? What Gwgan does from this point forward is no longer my concern.
Yes, but I am asking you. I'm specifically asking you. It's
You're
still
asking
your
for it.
concern until the end of the year, and this is the
Yep.
beginning of the end of the year.
I think.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll Love Family and a More Ellen, because they are both high. I'm
there
going
we
to see
go.
which one succeeds by
This
more.
is the proper Pendragon solution to the situation as well.
Okay, so which should I roll? Love Family or a More Ellen first? AP, you can decide.
I
I roll
think
first.
you should roll a more Ellen first.
Okay.
That's what's more spicy here. Wow.
Okay, so that's 13 under 17. So
Okay, cool.
now my Love Family is 19, which means that if I roll higher than a 13 but less than a 20, I love my family more.
Yeah.
Here comes the fumble.
It's a 15.
All right.
I think that I think that, I mean, obviously I'm still the seneschal of Sarum until Robert comes of age and appoints his own new lords, his council. Although I have been there as his, I'm not his father, but I certainly have been a figure in his growing up. But I think that what I have with Ellen remains a tryst and not a move away to a life together. I think it's
It's the two people who were emotionally cheating with each other and they both thought they'd see a physical relationship and end their lives together. But now that the time's come to make that decision, you've decided to go back to your wife, and it's emotionally crushing to her. She's been dreaming of this day for years, and for you, it was Tuesday. This cathedral is baptized not only with the Christendom and the knighting of Blodwyn, but also with the tears of Ellen for a relationship lost forever. Great, let's do the end of year rolls now. Now that we've absolutely killed this relationship forever. Ellen is going to write a new song called Teardrops on My Guitar, and it's going to be followed by another song called Portrait to Burn.
I do not get a check in energetic. I do get a check in spiritual. I do get a check in hospitality.
I didn't get a check in energetic. Got a check in hunting.
I did not get
Don't get a check in. Oh, I do get a check in romance.
I got a check in flirting.
And then
I got a check in hospitality.
no check in proud.
I did not get a check in spiritual. I got a check in hunting.
Spiritual goes up.
My spiritual does not go up.
My love of family does not go up.
My love of family does go up.
I'm not going to check in romance.
My hunting does not go up. My romance does go up.
I did get a check in on Morellen.
My lance does not go up.
My hospitality does not go up.
And my siege goes up.
I did not get a check in cowardly. I did get a check in lustful.
My loyalty to Order of the Axe does not go up.
Right, ready for the rolls.
My concern, my
lustful
commoners, does go up.
Go up. Merciful does not go up. Spiritual doesn't go up. Love of family doesn't go up. Hospitality doesn't go up.
Falconry does not go up.
Ellen does not go up.
Intrigue does not go up.
Love of God does not go up with a crit. Falconry doesn't go up. Flirting doesn't go up. Hunting does go up. That's my first thing that's gone up so far. That was a good hunt there, but he had all four. Intrigue does not go up. Christian religion goes up.
Ah, now we know why he's staying with his wife. He's becoming more Christian.
Last does not go up. And siege not go up. So I got, out of like 20 odd checks, I got 2 increases. Hunting, and religion Christian. That's okay. I'm not bitter.
You sound extremely bitter. I'm gonna be honest. Now, is this like Lancelot being bitter that his sword doesn't go up every year because he needs to roll a 20 every time? Is it just that your skills are so high, the rolls needed are obscene?
No, I had some stuff that was...
Oh, you failed some 7s, yeah.
Yeah, I did, yeah. That's all right, it happens. That's 2d6, not 2d6.
Yeah, I played Blood Bowl. I know what it looks like to fail continuously.
1, 2, 6. So, okay, so no stat changes this year.
All right, everybody's age goes up. Now...
Actually, Merlin's
I have
age
to do
goes
my-
down, but okay.
I have to do my wife's 3d6.
Well, my wife's
Nothing goes up.
stewardship goes to 19.
Nice. Okay, so now aging rolls.
Oh. What happens if you roll a 6 on a skill that's already a 20?
It only goes up on a 20 on a d20.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we need to hang.
Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't go up.
I do not have any aging stat loss this year.
I also do not have any aging stat loss this year. Needed that one.
There's my
All right.
apology for last year's incredibly high roll.
I'll say it's a 14 for you for this year.
All right, let me write that
13.
down before I forget. So 14, so -1 for me is 13.
By voluntarily taking a calamity.
1d2 plus 2 plus 1d2 plus 3.
It's a d6.
Ooh, I did not.
Oh, I got a benefit. An 11. Great year for cows, +4 to stewardship.
I rolled all ones on my incomes,
Oof.
investment incomes.
Some of them are D2s, so that's understandable. But
Right.
Yeah. All right. I got no results. All right, now concern my commoners. I was able to fake concern for my commoners.
What is your 3d6 there, James?
my cathedral,
Oh, that does that bring in money?
it brings in money. Yeah,
Holy shit. Okay.
yeah.
Dope.
But it costs 10.
Ooh, yeah,
So,
that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also grants 10 additional glory.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, success on a fail.
18. 18. I think that's 12.
Okay.
Let's check. Concerned commoners.
Misfortune fails.
Nope. Still don't like my commoners. Still don't like me, even though I've
Stewardship succeeds.
tried so hard to get their love.
So I get a good harvest.
Anyway, I made 25 Libra this year, which is a benefit to my having lost 6.5 last year.
I made 15. Oh,
Don't
sorry.
call that.
I made 25 and a half.
Okay, so a critical and they fail. I have an excellent harvest this year.
I am going to attempt to build a vineyard this year. 20 means I didn't, right?
Correct.
Yeah, 20 is not as bad, but you still
I
spend.
spend the
You spend
money,
the money,
but you don't build.
you don't just spend it again next year. Like the money has been spent.
Yep.
It just you have to roll each year until it's actually built.
You go out to the vineyard, you're Jean-Luc Picarding. You know, you're dressed extremely Frenchly, like a French peasant manor lord. And the guy you have running the vineyard, he says, "My lord, the grapes, they're no good. They don't grow this year. I have tiny little grapes. they no grow. My
But
lord.
it takes 3 years to get grapes anyway, so.
The grapes no grow. The soil, she's no good. We got the shit in it. We gotta stop. We got the shit in the soil.
We got the shit in
We gotta take our piss and we put it in a bucket. We aerate it for a week and then we pour it on the shit. Then the grapes they grow, my lord. I swear this by my name, Louis Bowser. Yes, for some reason he's hired a Roman vineyard expert from Tuscany, I suppose.
Family event was no event for me this year.
Wow. What a huge waste of my time. I can't meme on no event.
Oh yeah, don't I have a bunch of horses?
Yeah.
I sold my spare horses.
My horses are good.
All my horses are good.
I have a marriage in the family.
I am not trying to have any more kids.
Listen,
Death
I
in
don't
the
want to
family.
ask a pointed question about a woman's age, but is your wife still of child having age?
Ooh.
Yeah, she's 40, so.
Okay. All right, okay.
Because of my role before, I'm using my training and practice to increase my love of family to 20.
James, on his way out of the show, turns, looks at the camera. A horse pulls up next to him. He gets on the horse. Kendric gets on a second horse. The two of them race towards the sea, and then there are two paths next to the ocean. They stop. They get ready to race 1/4 kilometer at a time as Charlie Puth's See You Again plays, but bardcore style. So, you know, it's just like zethers and dulcimers and shit. But don't worry, Gwgan will be back in future Fast and the Furious. But they'll always just be like, should we call Gwgan in? No. Let Gwgan stay at home. He's got a family now.
I have a death in the family. I'm going to say that it is Delwyn, my grandmother.
Also, yes, that link I just posted in chat is the bardcore version of See You Again.
Is there one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just
shit.
posted it.
Okay. Sometimes I meme about things I know exist, and sometimes I meme about things I don't know exist.
I mean, there's it's just the instrumental,
Okay.
but it's there. I think one of my cousins will get married.
You know, sometimes people are like, tabletop games involve Satan. They're the worst. They do horrible things like kill people, and then we spend an hour sitting here going, all right, I roll some dice. My cousin gets married. That's really exciting for me.
Well, it's like
I guess
because we bring people to life. We've had many children in this campaign. It's like I always say, like because of stuff that happened, my second child was born at our house. It happened too quickly for us to get to the hospital. So I always joke that if a death in the house means the house is worth less, then surely a birth in the house would mean the house is worth more.
That's how you
Yeah,
become
there
a
you go.
CEO. That's CEO thinking right there.
Okay, I am going to, I think, take the 1d6 plus 1.
AP, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
6.
Can you please create an extra character sheet for me,
Sure.
and I will work on it during the week?
While you're creating, create one for me too, because it's not going to be that much longer. I tend to think.
Okay, they're up.
Thank you.
Well, James, it's time for you to make a decision. The last actions that we see of Gwgan on camera. You know?
I think it's probably him. Like, 'cause he goes obviously to the cathedral at Shrewton for Blodwyn's investment. And I think that him packing, like, now that he's so famed for his family, now at 20, his final thing is just we see him packing up him and his remaining children and wife and boarding a carriage or putting on their horses, whatever, to head to his new home at Winterbourne on Stoke, right on the border of where King Idris's forces are starting to muster. Preparing for a slightly quieter life. Is no longer a knight who leads other knights. He is now the led knight. Although he does have one knight, he has one actual vassal knight beneath him. So he does have one bannerman.
You receive great honors from the mother of your charge because you did successfully get her all grown up as promised. Even if you did do that thing where you killed a noblewoman and caused a real calamity for the family.
Yeah, and caused the death of her first son by sending him on a boat to Rome.
I mean, we know that happened, but she didn't go, wow, he rolled some dice and the Visigoths attacked my son. I mean, you lost a child in that attack too, right?
I did. Yeah, my eldest too.
No one's going, wow, he really planned that to kill that kid.
I think Sir Kendric has a gift for Sir Gwgan.
Mm-hmm.
It is a new sword belt that has been, it has a bunch of metal plates on it that have been engraved with all of the past events that Sir Kendric and Sir Gwgan have gone through together.
Shit together.
Yeah. I think it probably starts with in 488 when they went to France and Sir Gwgan jousted against the Hawk. And that continues from there, the Terrorbill campaign, the Cornwall campaign, and follows up through the last year with the Battle of Hertford.
Nice. He's like, this is a lovely gift. I'll see you next year.
yeah, of course.
I'll see you back again.
Never knowing that he was forever relegated to being a background character. Now he's fully detailed, right? But he's the guy in the crowd holding the WWE signs, not one of the wrestlers on stage.
Yeah, he's saying at the side of the image holding a hand for a person we never see.
I think Kyned has commissioned an illuminated Bible.
Okay. Can you tell me what an illuminated Bible is?
It's a Bible that has like actual illustrations of the scenes and has
but everyone's been replaced by snails for some reason.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And there's lots of murderous rabbits for no particular reason. And so he'll present it to Gwgan and say, "My brother, I appreciate you sharing your faith with me and bringing me into your fold, and I hope that you can have this for your new cathedral."
Oh, thank you. I mean, because you're always welcome in the cathedral. I mean, it's not my cathedral anymore, but I'm sure that my niece would or not niece, cousin, child would allow it.
Cool. Any closing thoughts on today's episode?
I think this is a kind of a milestone episode. I mean, it's episode 51, but it's also our first peaceful transition.
Right.
That
From the guy who
didn't-
also made the first transition period. Yeah.
yeah.
Less peacefully.
Yes.
Well,
much
he's
less.
speed running the dynasty, you know?
So yeah, I think this is
Yeah, you win this campaign by going through the most characters, right?
It's
Well, I'm
reverse
on my
golf.
third, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to catch up.
All right. Well, it's been a long day.
I rolled
Without you,
so
my
many 20s this session.
you did.
You
So
could
many
have
20s.
saved the College of Legates from these false pretenders. And now, instead, we get Star Wars level political drama. King Lot, I won't recognize him. I demand a vote of no confidence in Chancellor Lot. Ned Toledo begins rising into the air. The attacks on the kingdom of Cornwall have left me scarred. Wow. If only Yoda, aka King Cadway, had warned us.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good for next week?
I can do next week.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yep,
have to remember
should
to
be.
change the overlay.
I cannot do the 11th, though.
All right.
So I go away. So 11th is fine. 18th is fine. The 25th I will be. Sorry, the 11th is a Friday. Sorry. Clear?
I'm sorry, I was on the wrong month. I cannot do the 12th of
12th. Okay.
2 weeks from now. I cannot do.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Like I could do the 19th, then I go away after that for 3 weeks.
Okay. 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm in the US the 20. Well, I'm flying on the 25th. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
in the
okay.
US the 26th, 2nd, and 9th.
Yeah. But I would not be able to do the second either.
If
I
you're
am
going to
taking
Gen
these off
Con.
my calendar
That's
now.
right. I will be at Gen Con
You
meeting
guys
up with
could
all
just
the.
do an episode at Gen Con.
We could
without
do an
me.
episode of
Yeah,
Gen Con.
yeah. It's not too late for you guys to get tickets to do a live action
It's
episode.
far too late for me to get tickets. Sorry, did you say do it live action?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean laugh. I just mean
okay,
face-to-face.
I bring an actual sword to knight you with.
Yeah, there are rules at Gen Con. That's one of them.
The Blade
Yeah.
6.
you
The
could
Frost
you could bring a
Mix.
buffer sword.
Oh, Gen
We
Con.
bring a horse to make the leap.
Just shits everywhere in the convention hall constantly.
Well, there's that guy that makes the giant balloon dragon. You can make a giant
Yeah, you can make a
horse.
giant balloon horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a Gen Con thing.
Every year there's one of those guys that makes does balloon animals, but he makes a life-sized dragon out of balloons, and then on the last day, all the kids get to go and attack it and pop all the balloons.
I see. You know, James, it feels like a real James thing for me to say that it's hard to make a life-size dragon of a creature that doesn't exist. That sounds like something you would say to me.
That is,
and that's
that is
how
a-
I'm going to end this episode, with victory, the sweet taste of victory. Also, I need Spoon to say something real quick.